Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. I want to talk about all of my makeup empties for the year of 2024. Most of it is mascara. I'm just going to say this was the year that I think this is the year that I kind of ultimately decided to stop wearing false eyelashes. I'm not opposed to wearing them. Maybe at some point in the future I will start wearing them again, but it has just been so nice wearing a mascara. It's just easier to remove at the end of the day. I don't have to worry about the glue or anything, but there are a lot of mascaras. I have a huge pile of mascaras because I was just trying so many and so many at once. There's a lot, but I think I am going to just start in order of how I apply my makeup. So we'll start with primer, so let's get into it. The first thing here is, of course, my Milani eyeshadow primer. I did have to end up cutting this open and then just started kind of getting some of the product out. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know how much I've always loved this eyeshadow primer. However, over the summer of this year, and maybe it's just because it was so hot outside, it kind of started failing me a little bit. I noticed that my eyeshadows would really crease over this when they used to not normally do that, but I know that things can change as you get older. I'm 30 years old now, so maybe this worked well for me, you know, in my 20s, but now that I'm getting into my 30s here, things can change. I know that, but it could have also been it was just so hot here over the summer, because I have worn this, well, I have a new tube over there, a couple of times here in a little bit more of colder weather and haven't had as much of an issue. There's some slight creasing, but it's not that bad. But I mean, I'm not opposed to purchasing it again because I have always liked it. I do still stand by it. I would continue to recommend it to anybody who is looking for an eyeshadow primer. I do think it's a good one. The next thing I tried out is this little sample card of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Now, I believe I accidentally threw away the little paper that was the Sin shade, but I still have the original one right here. I really did like this. I felt like my eyeshadows definitely lasted over this. Sin was okay, but that's not one that I really wanted to apply eyeshadows over the top. To me, that was better, almost like a one and done eyeshadow, even though it was technically an eyeshadow primer, and it definitely worked. I had no issues with it, but if I'm going to repurchase this, I would repurchase the original, or I think they have like an anti-aging one. I'm not sure what the difference might be like as far as ingredients, but I'd be up to trying either of those and just seeing how they work, because I really did like this little sample, and you only needed just a little bit each time, so I really got a good use of this. So it's not like it was a one-time use. I used it over the course of, well, probably a while. I managed to get enough out of it to do a bunch of looks with it, like a bunch of eyeshadow looks using this, so I really did like it. It is one that I would definitely consider purchasing, but not at the moment because I still have a whole tube of my Milani, and then I'm also using the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder as an eyeshadow primer too. So maybe after I've kind of gotten more of a dent in those, it is something that I would consider buying. I think they have a mini size. I'm not sure. Either way, the mini size, full size, I'd be up to purchasing it for sure in the future. Okay, this next thing, the first time I got it, it come in one of these little sample packets, like when you place an order on Sephora, you can sometimes pick 3 samples. This is the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer, but later on, I did get, look at this little tiny tube, look how little that is. I did get this as a points kind of reward thing from Sephora, where you can use 100 of your points and get like these little sample sizes. So I got a little bit more of a use out of this, but between these, I felt like I used it, you know, a few times to kind of get some thoughts on it. Not like a full review, but I will say that I did like it. I felt like it really did help control the oils that sometimes I get like right in here in my T-zone. That is really where I get the most oily, but now it's not severe oiliness, so if you have very oily skin, I don't know how it might work for you or not, but for me it mattified enough that I was satisfied with it. But now, is this something I would repurchase? No, because I do have my favorite primers that, and I'm about to talk about one of them in just a second, and I know that I would never want to pick this over them, so I won't repurchase it, but I did like it. You know, the whole time I had, well, this and then this. I think I might have got 2 times out of this. I did like it enough. So the next thing, this is a deluxe sample size of the Say Glowy Super Gel in Star Glow. Now, I know it kind of looks like they're, ooh, will focus for me. Come on now. It does kind of look like there's still something in there, but nothing else is coming out of the little pump. And this type of bottle is one that you can't open it. Like, you can just twist it all around and it just doesn't come up. So I can't get that last little bit out of it, but if you've been watching some of my videos, especially favorites videos in the past, you will know how much I absolutely love this primer. Now, I know you can wear this in many different ways. You can wear it as a primer, a mix-in, a highlighter, anything you want. I love wearing this as a primer. It is my absolute all-time favorite primer. This is why I wouldn't purchase the Milk one, because between this and my e.l.f. Cosmetics, the Poreless Putty Primer, I don't need any other primers. This is, to me, is beautiful. And this comes in, when it was in 3 shades, but now they've added back another shade that I think at one point was limited edition. They brought that one back. I don't believe, at the time I'm filming this, I don't believe it's out yet. I think it's coming either at the beginning of January or like at the very end of December. I'm not exactly sure. I'm filming this video in advance, so I'm not exactly sure if it's out yet, but I love this stuff. I have gone through several of the mini sizes, like the actual mini that you can purchase. I've gone through several of those. I have also gone through some of these deluxe sample sizes in the past. This is the best primer I've ever used. Okay, moving on now for eyeshadow. Of course, there's going to be nothing, you know, spectacular here as far as like whole eyeshadow palettes. I am definitely not at that stage. But I do have these 2 little eyeshadow singles. Now, this was the Wet n Wild eyeshadow in Brulee. And as you can see, I have complete empty, and I've emptied, ooh, I'm going to turn it that way. I have emptied 2 of these. This is what I use every single time. Well, not every time, but for the most part, if I'm using an eyeshadow palette that doesn't have like a skin tone eyeshadow, this is what I'm reaching for. I have gone through so many of these in my life way before I've ever started a channel. In fact, I'm working on my last one right here, which, as you can see, is about to be another empty because I just have a little bit around the edge here. This is just one of my most favorite products. Unfortunately, I believe now it might be becoming a little bit harder to find. The last time I looked for it, it was only available on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's back on the Wet n Wild website, or it might be you can find it in stores. I'm not exactly sure, but I kind of hope it's not going away. It's always been one of my favorites. I've gone through so many of these in my life. So I do hope that it continues to be, you know, something that you can purchase quite regular, because I do really like it. But I do have shades like this in a bunch of eyeshadow palettes, so I'm not going to cry too much, but I wish they would keep it like where you can buy it in the stores. Just go pick it up, which is what I did with these. I hope they bring it back. Okay, mascara. I'm just going to grab a handful here and then we'll work our way through them because there are a bunch. There are a bunch of these. The first one here is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I like this one enough. It is definitely not a favorite of mine. I know everybody has seen this type of one, that like hourglass shaped one. I feel like it worked decently enough, but then there'd be some days where I feel like it really weighed my lashes down. I don't know if it was just some days my lashes want to do okay, some days they don't, but that is not one that I would repurchase. I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily, and I love the tube, and this is the full size. This is a very weighted tube. I will give them that credit because it feels nice. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like really cheap or anything when you're holding it in your hand, but it's not one I would repurchase, but I didn't have any issues with it. Now, this is one that I have definitely repurchased. I have it currently in my collection right now. This is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. This is in the brown shade, and it has kind of like this curved one to it. I love this mascara so very much that absolutely I would repurchase it over and over. It's one of my favorite mascaras at the drugstore. On me, it definitely gives me more of like a little bit more of length and more of like a natural lengthened kind of look on my lashes, but I know mascara is one of those things that's very personal. So any review of mascara definitely take with a grain of salt because everybody is different. But this one definitely reminds me of my Tower 28 mascara. I know this is supposed to be a dupe of the Benefit Roller Lash or something. I'm not sure. Benefit's not cruelty free, so I've never tried that mascara, but I do like this one. I would repurchase it, and I absolutely have. This next one is a heartbreaker because you cannot purchase this one anymore. It was limited edition, and I hate that because it was one of the best mascaras I'd ever used, and it was one of the best brown mascaras. This is from Hard Candy. This was when they had their Girl Scouts collection earlier in the year. This is the Indulgent Volumizing Mascara, and it was in a brown shade, and it had a wand, kind of like this right here, like the hourglass shape. Oh, this was one of the best mascaras I have ever used. It made my lashes look incredible. The way I rave about my Refi mascara, this mascara did that for my lashes as well, but in a beautiful chocolate brown shade. and at an affordable price point because this is drugstore. I hate that you can't get this anymore. This is heartbreaking. If it was still available, if they made that a permanent thing, I'd be buying it nonstop. It would be in my collection at all times because it is that good. Now, the next one is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. This is in the brown shade. I did really like this. Now, I can't show you the wand on this one because the stopper, oh, no, there it goes, I got it. The stopper is kind of broken on it, so it was wanting to kind of get stuck in the cap a little bit. But it has kind of one of these more cone-shaped ones. I believe this is the mascara that is supposed to be duping the Thrive mascara. I've never tried that one, so I can't speak for if it's a dupe or not, but I did like this one. I did like the Lash and Roll one better, but this is one that I definitely would love to repurchase and try it again because I do remember liking it, so it is one that I will consider repurchasing, but maybe not quite right now because I do still have a bunch of mascaras in my collection. This next one, I don't have to dwell on this one. You already know, if you've watched my channel a bunch in the past, you already know how I feel about this mascara. This is the Refi Lash Sculpt. It is the one that has this wand right here. I am absolutely in love with this mascara. Yes, it is very pricey. It's like a $27, $28 mascara. Worth every penny in my humble opinion. I'm wearing it today. It is one of the most beautiful mascaras. I have repurchased it and I will continue to repurchase it till the end of time because it is my all-time favorite mascara. The next one that I have right here is from Tower 28. This is the Make Waves mascara. Now this is in the shade Drift, which is the brown. I currently have the black in my collection, but I have already purchased, you can see it's got like kind of that curved wand to it. I have purchased a little duo. If you buy from the Tower 28 website, you can buy a little duo of both the brown and the black shades. I have done that and I have those waiting on me to use because the one that I have right now in my collection in the black shade, it's about to go. Like it's about to hit. I only wear mascara for about the 6-month point. Unless it's a mascara that I hate, then no, I'm not going any further. But I try to just keep it to a 6-month part because look, I do wear contacts. I have had a lot of problems with my eyes since childhood, so I don't want to I don't want to make anything worse by putting a mascara that's too old around my eyes. So I try to use them for at least the 6-month point and then they're gone. They're gone after that. Okay, I'm just going to grab another handful. We're getting to the end here. Okay, this one was sent to me in PR. This is from Color Spell. This is Profusion's sister brand that you can buy at Dollar General. This was the waterproof one. This is the Lash Element Waterproof Mascara. It has this very curved wand to it. I don't like this one and I did not use it for the full time. It did nothing for my lashes. It did absolutely nothing. It didn't hold a curl, it didn't lengthen, it didn't volumize them or anything. To me, it's a mascara that if you just maybe want a coat of mascara on your lashes, like if you have already the most beautiful, perfect lashes, that might work for you because if you just need just a little bit of a coat on them, you might be fine. Or if you wear false eyelashes and you just want to just darken your natural lashes before you go in with your falsies, that would be a good mascara because it didn't do anything for me. I mean, I'm very thankful and grateful for them for sending it to me, of course, because I love trying new makeup, and that is a definitely grateful experience to have when brands reach out to you and, you know, send you PR or anything like that. I know with my channel my size, that is definitely not common, so I am very grateful for them, but I do want to be honest with all of you about my experiences, and I just didn't like it. Now, this next one here was a little points thing from Sephora where you used 100 points. This is the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Volumizing Mascara. This mascara, honestly, is not one that I feel like was very memorable for me. If I'm being entirely honest with you, it just doesn't stand out to me in either a good or a bad way. I don't know if it's just one of those that I've kind of forgotten the way I felt about it, but I feel like that's kind of tells me enough to know that I would not want to repurchase it again in the future because nothing about it really stands out to me. Maybe I just don't remember what I felt about it, but it's not one that I would buy. The next one is from CoverGirl. This is their Eye Enhancer Mascara. This was in the Berry Brown shade. This is such a wet, clumpy formula. And even though it's old now, you can still see how coated that brush is. It was a mascara that I liked and then did not like. On one hand, I liked the color of it. When I first used it, I wasn't a fan of that shade. But the longer I used it, I did love the shade of the mascara because I've never had a berry brown like that because it looked kind of like a burgundy. I know burgundy mascaras exist, but I think maybe only Charlotte Tilbury has one that's cruelty-free. I know L'Oreal has one, but they're not a cruelty-free brand. I'm not sure if anybody else has a burgundy mascara. I love the color of it, but that formula, they need to work on that formula. The next one is from Ulta Beauty. This is the Ultimate Lashes Multitasking Mascara. This was in the brown shade, chocolate brown. I did not like this. This is another one that I felt like did absolutely nothing for my lashes. It did not, I feel like it really didn't lengthen, volumize, or do anything for them. The longer I had it, the worse it got, and I ended up not even finishing it because I just didn't like it. Now, this next one is from Laura Geller. This is the Always There Waterproof Mascara. This is one that is weird because when I first started using it, I liked it because I liked what it did for my lashes. It was kind of like a beefy mascara. So it really kind of added a lot, but the older it got, I started disliking it. It's a very wet formula, and then I felt like it started to get like where it would want to stick your lashes together and just make one lash. And I don't know, and it weigh your lashes down. It wouldn't hold a curl anymore, and I don't know what happened to it because when I first started using it, I liked it. In fact, it was one I recommended in a favorites video, maybe either the beginning of this year or somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. But it's not one I would recommend now. After time went on, no, things changed. It didn't perform as well anymore, so it's definitely not one that I would recommend now. Okay, the last ones I have right here were all points rewards. I love to try mascaras like that. I love to be able to use points to try them because then it's like you don't really have to spend the money on buying a full size unless they offer a mini. Now I know you still had to pay and spend money at Sephora to be able to use the points, but at least you were more than likely using that money to buy stuff you know you love and will use. So this is just something that I love doing. The first one here is from Give Beauty. This is the Can't Stop Staring mascara. What is happening with this brand? I feel like sometimes it's on really heavy discount on the Sephora app, and then the next time you'll see it back full price. Is this, I don't know if it's going away or what. It's one of those that had like the little ball tip thing on the end of the mascara one. This is another one that was just not memorable for me. I don't remember it really doing anything for my lashes worthwhile, worth even mentioning, so it's not one that even if you could still buy it, which I don't know if you could even buy that one now, I wouldn't repurchase it. I just didn't really care one way or the other about it. The next one is the One Size Fantasize Mascara. This is one that I quit using before it was even really fully empty because it was such a wet mascara and it made my lashes just stick together. It was awful. Like, made it look like I had one or two, maybe at the most 3 lashes on my whole eyeball. It is definitely not one that I would use points or repurchase or anything. I did not like that one. Alright, then we have the Too Faced Better Than Sex, the Foreplay Primer. This was like the mascara primer that they come out with. It has like that curved wand. I did really actually like this. I felt that it would help mascaras. Like maybe some mascaras that weren't the greatest on their own. If you applied this first and then go in, I felt like it really did help them. And I did like pairing this one up with the Better Than Sex mascara because I definitely felt like it helped that mascara to be even more of a beefy mascara and do a lot more for me than it did on its own. So I mean, this is one now, I don't think I would repurchase it, but if I saw it again for points, like on the Sephora website or something, I probably would pick it up that way, but it's not one that I would actually buy again. Okay, we have the Rare Beauty Volumizing Mascara. I don't know the full name of this mascara. I think it's got like a long name. I do really like this mascara. This is definitely one, to me, even though I don't believe it's marketed as a waterproof mascara, it performs like one. It really holds your curl. It gives me length. It gives me volume. It kind of does everything. And it's a really nice one. It is one that I would repurchase it. I have gone through a full size and 2 minis, and then this is a little deluxe sample size. I have gone through several of them, and it's still a mascara that I really do love. I don't love it more than my Refi, but it is a good one. This next one here is another good one. I would definitely consider buying this one, but this one was points reward. This is the Tartelette XL Tubing Mascara. This is a beautiful mascara. It definitely gives me the length that I really love because for me personally, I like a lengthening mascara more so than I do a volumizing. and it kind of has like another one of these that has a cone-shaped wand to it. It gave me such the most beautiful length to my lashes. I really did like it. This is definitely one that I would consider purchasing actually. Since I did get that one with the little 100 points, I would definitely rebuy it. I would purchase it. It was a very good mascara. But now that is all of the mascaras. That was a ton of mascara, so let's move on to the next categories. You know, I don't know if it was noticeable a while ago, but I had some of this black lipstick on my teeth a while ago, so that was great. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you couldn't. Okay, now usually I start next with like my foundation or concealer. Sometimes I'll go in with concealer first, but I don't have any concealer empties. But I am going to do setting spray first because I always spray my sponge and then go with my foundation. The first one I have here is from Milani. This is the Make It Last SPF 30 sunscreen spray. This is a good one. I think this one from Milani is really good. I tried this one before, and I have tried the, do they have a mattify? It's mattifying. Don't they have one that's glowy, mattifying, and then like an original? I know this is the sunscreen one, and I believe I've tried the mattifying one. I do think it's a good setting spray. Would I repurchase it? I mean, if I was kind of in a pinch and run out of my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and just I wasn't placing an order anytime soon, or I wasn't going in store to pick up another one, then yeah, I would pick it up because it is a good one and I do like it. The next one is from Rare Beauty. This is the Always an Optimist 4-in-1 setting spray. I did like this one. Now, as far as it, I don't know if it really extended the wear time of my makeup or not, but I feel like it just kind of helped everything mesh very well. But now, I'm not applying setting spray the way some people probably would do their whole face of makeup and then take this and then go over. I don't apply setting spray that way. I like to take these and spray my sponge, then go in with my foundation like that. So I'm not using it, you know, at the end of my routine. So take that for what you will. That's just the way I like applying setting spray. And I did like it. I feel like it definitely helped my foundation lay very nicely on my skin. I never had any issues with it. Would I repurchase it? Probably not, but I do think it's a good one. And then, of course, we have my favorite here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I do really like this, and I like the scent that it has. I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends on whether or not you like kind of like that fragrance kind of in a setting spray or not, because I do understand that that could be a deal breaker for some people, but I personally like the scent. Now, this is a little mini size. I have repurchased the little mini size set that she releases for the holidays, and I have one sitting right here on my table, and then I have that one waiting for me. Once I finish those up, I will be repurchasing this, but in the full size, because I do like this one. This is the only one that I have in my collection, and honestly, I'm completely fine with that. I don't really need any other because this does everything that I need it to do. Now, this one is not technically makeup. It's really actually like a skincare item, but it says you can spray it on your face throughout the day, and I want to mention it because I really do like this. I've gone through 2 of the full size, and I have gone through a mini before in the past. This is the Tower 28 Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I do really like this. I honestly see a difference when I use this on my skin, and maybe I don't apply it like with my makeup or anything, but I love to apply it like during my skincare routine, and I just want to mention it because you can spray it throughout the day, and I'm assuming you can spray it over makeup if you wanted to, but I just wanted to mention it right here because I really do like this. I think it is a good spray. To me, it's something that adds to my skincare routine, and I feel like, you know, when your skincare routine's good, then the makeup will lay really nicely on top. So I just wanted to mention it right quick. Okay, next, the only little foundation thing I have here, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This was like a little sample card, and they gave you like different shades. I think maybe this shade, maybe that shade, probably not. I know at least this shade, I use this concealer, and then some of these more deeper shades I did use as like a bronzer on my skin for the day. I mean, this is really not enough to tell if I would actually want the actual bottle of this, or tube. I think this is in a tube. But I mean, when I use this, I don't remember it doing anything weird. I remember it laying very nicely over my skin or on my under eye area or anything. I don't remember it doing anything odd. So I mean, it might be one I would consider trying in the future, but it's not like a big thing. And you can't really go by something like this because they do not give you enough to cover your whole face. Like that right there, I've got just barely enough to do my under eye. So it's kind of hard to tell with something like that. Okay, for blush, the first thing I have here is a little sample card of Glossier. This is their Cloud Paint Seamless Cheek Color. I'm only mentioning these little sample cards because with ones like this, I was able to use the formula enough times to kind of get a sort of an idea. That's the only reason why I'm mentioning these. I did like this formula. Especially, I loved that shade right there, Puff. That was my favorite out of all of these. Now, this shade up here, which is the shade Haze, the deepest shade, because they didn't give you enough in this little sample thing, I feel like that was the one that went on a little patchy. But because it's a darker shade, I feel like you need a little bit more to apply so it doesn't do that. But I'm not really going to fault the actual shade for that as much as it was just the amount they give you. But these shades right here were absolutely beautiful. With just the little bit they gave you in this little card, I really did like them. And I would definitely consider purchasing the shade Puff because I really did like it. The next one is from Rare Beauty. This is one of the liquid blushes. Now this one is in the shade Bliss. Now I did use as much as I possibly could out of this, which you can see all of the windowing in the product here, but after I took the stopper out of it, you know, I didn't use it every single day and it started to really dry out. And unfortunately, it got to a point where I just couldn't use it anymore, but I'm still going to count it as an empty because I did get some really major windowing in this product, and this is my favorite shade from the Rare Beauty line. I think the shade Bliss is such a beautiful shade, especially if you have fair skin, because it's one of her only shades that you don't have to be as careful with. I know her line of blushes is incredibly pigmented. This is one that I felt like you could be a little bit more you could be a little bit more with it, like apply a little bit more with it, and it wouldn't be as like, you know, panic. So I would definitely repurchase this in the future. I absolutely would. I don't know if you can buy a mini of it. I know a few of her blushes, she did release some minis. I don't believe Bliss is one of them, but if she releases a mini, I'd probably pick it up that way. I just don't feel like I need the full size when I have so many blushes. Okay, the next thing I have here are 3 powders. The first one here is a mini size of the One Size, I think, Ultimate Setting Powder. This was in the translucent. I love this powder. This is my most favorite powder of all time. Loose powder, anyway. It is so good. I used this one up and I have repurchased it in the full size in the Ultra Peach shade, and then I have a deluxe sample size. Well, actually, I don't even know if you'd call it deluxe. A sample size of the pink powder. And I've purchased this size in the pink powder, which is on its way to me right now because I'm wearing the pink powder today to kind of meet up with this more lilac-y blush that I'm wearing, and I love it so much. Just setting right here, like right in this area and across my nose, it is so beautiful. It's one of the only pink powders that I feel like I've used that hasn't left a cast on me. So this powder, honestly, any shade, whatever shade that you're looking for your skin tone, I would definitely recommend this setting powder. It is so good. Okay, the next one, this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. Now, this was in the pink shade. I even actually had to I took out the stopper that was in it so I could really get all of this product out. I love the Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Light. This was one of the powders that I felt like kind of left a cast on me in this pink shade. However, I want to say when I was using this, I was using like a puff to apply it. I noticed that when I use my One Size, I take a brush and just take a small amount and then really work it in the brush and then apply it, and I find that that works better. So this would work better for me if I did it like that. But the way I finished this up, and now I don't know if you can do this or not, I'm not sure, so you know, do this at your own risk. It was just the way I wanted to finish up these powders, so I didn't want to like just throw them away or anything, but I just felt like nobody would really want these like in my family or friends or anything, so I used this as dry shampoo. It worked really well for that. I mean, I used it that way to finish it up, and I mean, hey, I got an empty and it really helped, so. But I do love the Halo Glow Setting Powder, but in the light shade. Okay, the next one is from Saie. This is their Air Set Radiant Loose Setting Powder, and this is in the translucent shade. Now, if you are very fair or have very pale skin, I would tell you definitely don't get this powder. It, to me, was not like a true translucent, because you know most translucent powders are either like a white powder or they're like a powder there's like no color to it, no shade or anything. This was tinted pretty deep. I can't get this lid back on here. There we go. This was actually had like a pretty deep tint to it. It left a cast on me. It's definitely not one that I would repurchase. I did remember liking the formula. I do wish that they would kind of expand the shade range in this, like where you can get different options and maybe have like an actual translucent that's like a white powder, or a powder that doesn't have kind of like this kind of shade, like, you know, something like that, maybe even, but like a little bit lighter than this. Maybe not a stark white, but between like a white and a shade like this. And then keep this option though, because I think this would make a perfect translucent powder for someone who has more of a medium complexion. So if you have like a medium skin tone, I think you would really like this actually, like, because I think it would be a perfect powder for you. But as far as anyone else, I don't know about those of you who have deeper skin tones, if you would like this or not. But if you have very fair, pale skin, no, I'd say skip this one completely. Alright, after I usually do my powder, I go in with brows. The first thing I have right here is the e.l.f. Brow Lift. This is just the one that comes in like the little pot here, and you know, it has like the clear brow gel in here. This was kind of like their dupe of the Brow Freeze from ABH. I did like this at the time when I was really heavily doing the laminated brow look. I think this is a good one. You do have to be careful with it because it is one of those that can leave like little flakies in your brow. This is one that I would recommend doing before you do makeup. Do this first, because if you do your makeup and then go in with this, you are going to probably catch every little fleck of makeup that might have gotten your brows during application. I would say use this first, like go in with this first and then apply the rest of your makeup. But I did like it. It really held my brows in place. I had no issue with it, but I wouldn't repurchase it for myself because I just don't do that look on me anymore. But if you're into that, I would say try it out. Okay, this next one is from Say. This was their, what is this? The Brow Butter in the shade Deep Brown. This has like such a teeny little wand. Like, look how little that wand is. Honestly, this was one that I felt like just was not memorable. It's not one that I would buy again. I don't know. I just felt like it really didn't do much for my brows. Maybe it's because I think I used it during a time where I was still laminating my brows. If I tried it again now, maybe I would think differently because I am doing my brows more of just like a standard fill them in with a pencil and gel. I'm not laminating them. I don't know. It's not memorable enough for me to actually want to repurchase it. And I don't even know if you can still get this anymore, because I know when I bought mine, it was heavily discounted on the Say website, so they might not even make it now. But it was just kind of meh. Okay, we have the e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil. This was in the deep brown. I did like this. Now, I will say that if I bought it again, I would like to buy it in the, I think they have a neutral brown, which is one shade below this one, I believe. Like, this is the deep brown, and then that one would have been the next lightest one after that. I feel like this shade might have been a little too dark for my brows because it was very pigmented, so I would like to try the neutral brown, but it is one that I would definitely consider repurchasing. Now, is it waterproof? I'm not sure. I don't really put my makeup to that kind of test, so I cannot tell you if it is waterproof or not, but as far as the formula itself, I did like it. It's a good, affordable brow pencil you can pick up right at Walmart or whatever drugstore you have near you. Okay, we have the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel, and this one was in the shade Deep Brown, I believe is what that says. I do like this. This is one that I would definitely consider purchasing. Now, I will say that my favorite brow pencil and gel are the Brow Pop Pencil from Kosas and the Air Brow Gel from Kosas. Those are my favorites. Nothing beats them, but I do like having a drugstore option in my collection because there are some videos I like to do on my channel here where I want to do a full face of drugstore products. So I definitely wouldn't mind having this back as the drugstore brow gel and then maybe like a pencil or something from e.l.f. again to go with it, because I do think e.l.f. makes good brow products. Now this next thing here, well no, this is not a brow product. This must have got mixed in. Okay, this is from Ioni. This is their Everlasting 2-in-1 Lash Glue Liner. It was kind of like a liquid liner that you could apply a strip of false eyelashes to it and it would just adhere to that. I don't remember disliking it. I want to say it held up pretty well every time I use it. Now, would I repurchase it? No, I don't wear false eyelashes anymore. And I also don't wear liquid liner. If I ever want to apply liner anywhere, I definitely would rather go in with eyeshadow. I'm just not good at liquid liner. It's just not something that I care for, so I wouldn't repurchase it. But if you wear false eyelashes and you just want to try it out, I'd say go for it. It's $1.25 at Dollar Tree. I'd say try it out. If you wear eyeliner every day and false eyelashes, you can just knock out your steps right here. Okay, the Refi Brow Sculpt. This is the one that has like, it goes on kind of like a, it's clear, but it has like a white kind of look to it. And it is one that if you're not careful, it can put some white flakes in your brows. It's another one that I would recommend doing your brows first before you go in with any of your makeup. It is one that I've always liked. Now, I don't laminate my brows anymore, but I still think it's a good one for holding your brows in place. I have repurchased it. I have one in my collection right now. I do think it's a good one to have. You just have to be a little careful with it as far as like the little flakies are concerned. But now if I apply a very small amount of it, you know, after I've done the rest of my makeup, I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. And on the top here, it does come with like the brush. If you want to like really press your brows down to your head, you can do so. I never used it, so I can't speak for that, but it is a good brow gel, and I have repurchased it. Now, would I repurchase it a third time? No, because when it comes to high-end, I've already found my favorites from Kosas. Speaking of, this is the Kosas Brow Pop Dual Action Defining Pencil, and this one is in the shade, it's hard to read that, dark brown. This is my most favorite brow pencil of all time. I have absolutely repurchased it. It is my favorite. It is one of the most perfect shades for my brow hairs. It's a perfect match. And I love it so very much. Every time I use it, I feel like my brows look amazing. The same with their Air Brow Gel, which maybe eventually I'm about to have an empty on the little mini size that I have, but I have also repurchased a full size of that because it's just that good. So we're going to move on to my last little group of empties here. I have 3 here for lip products. The first one here is from Ioni, which is sold at Dollar Tree, by the way. This is their Shea Butter lipstick, and this one was in the shade China Silk. Now, is this the most revolutionary formula, or was it the most amazing thing out there? No. For $1.25 though, for a lip balm that can just be tossed into your purse and you just have it whenever you need it, I thought it was good. The color of it was really nice. It had kind of like this slightly soft brown nude kind of vibe, but it wasn't very heavily pigmented because it was a lip balm, and I don't think it was bad. Now, would I repurchase it? No, probably not. But hey, if you're in Dollar Tree and you see it and you want to try it out, see if you like it. It's only $1.25. I don't think you'd be maybe too disappointed with it. The next thing here is from Lottie London. This is their Oil Slick Lip Oil, and this one was in Extra Cherries. This was a mini size, by the way. This was like the teeny tiny mini. I love this. Honestly, I would definitely want to have it again just for this scent. Yeah, you can still smell it. It smells like candy, like just the most fruit candy. I don't know. I loved it so very much. It was one that was very easy to get an empty on because I just liked it enough. I would consider buying it again. Maybe not right now. I have a ton of lip oils in my collection, but I would love to have it again in the future. It was a very wet lip oil. So when they say oil slick, yeah, that's definitely a good term for it. The next one is from Tower 28. This is one of their Shine On Lip Jellies in the shade Oat. I mentioned this quite recently, if it will focus, but I've got an empty on it. This is my most favorite lip gloss of all time. This formula, any of the shades are beautiful. This just happened to be the shade I finished first. I love these from Tower 28. They are just some of my most favorite lip glosses. I know that I've heard some people say that theirs went bad like quite frequently. Theirs went bad within like just a certain amount of time. I haven't experienced that yet. But this is a clean beauty brand, so I mean, it does happen. So far, I haven't had any issues with any of my Tower 28 products, and I'm not just saying that because I love that brand so much. If I noticed something wrong, I would definitely tell you that, because I mean, that would be wrong of me not to. But no, I have not had an issue yet with mine. Even this one was the oldest one in my collection, and it doesn't have a center at all, and I had to remove the stopper in it and everything to get all the product out, but it's one of my most favorite lip glosses. In fact, it was featured in my video where if I could only keep 20 products, that would be one of the lip glosses that I would keep. But this might be a long one. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to be after I edit it and make sure everything's kind of cut down, looks pretty good. So, you know, if you made it to this point of the video, thank you so very much. I really love these empties videos because I feel like by the time somebody finishes something, they really have a good idea on it, unless it's something like one of these that I finished back in January. And it's hard to remember my full thoughts on it, like some of the mascaras. But I will say that mascara is one of those things that's just really personal, that it's hard to kind of take a review for a mascara when you just kind of have to try them on your own, because everybody's lashes are different, everybody's preference. So, you know, of course, take all my opinions on these mascaras with a grain of salt. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. Follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly, and I will link some of these products below. I don't believe I'll be able to link all of them. Well, some of them I might can. I'll see what I can fit in the description box. If I can't fit them in the description box, I'll put them in a pinned comment if that would be easier. I'll see once I actually start typing out my description, but they will be affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission. And if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!